I'm Andrea Giles, and you're listening to the Heal from Infidelity podcast, episode number 42, Self-Esteem.
Hello, and welcome to the Heal from Infidelity podcast, where courageous women learn not only to heal from their spouse's betrayal, but to become the boldest, truest, most decisive, and confident versions of themselves ever. If you know there's more for you than the life you're currently living, but don't quite know how to get there, you are in the right place. Stick around to learn how to create a life that will knock your own socks off. Is it possible? It is, and I'm here to show you how. I'm your host, Andrea Giles. Are you ready? Let's dive in.
Hi, everybody. I'm so happy to be here with you today. So I have to say a couple things before I dive in. First of all, I happened to be looking for an email that I was expecting, and I didn't see it. So I went and looked in my spam, and there were so many emails from some of you that I didn't even know were there. I'm so sorry. So I want to say, they delete after not very long. And so I want to say to you, if you have sent me an email and have not heard back from me, send it again. Okay? Because I didn't know they were there. They went to spam. There were so many. So if you have not heard back, I usually write back. Like I don't know of any time I have not written back. I love hearing from you. I love responding. So will you email me again? And I will respond this time. So I apologize for that. Keep those emails coming, and I will check my spam more often now that I know that it's an issue. So I am coming at you today with a really bad cold. I've been pretty dang miserable, and I keep waiting till I feel better to record this. And I got to get it done. I have a wonderful podcast producer who is amazing, and I need to get this to her so it can get to you on time. So you get to hear me today sniffling and maybe sneezing, but I want to get this out to you. Life events. In the last month, I've had 2 kids get married. I had one of my bonus kids, my stepdaughter, Katie. She got married in April. And then my own son, my firstborn, got married last Saturday. And I'll tell you what, both of them were really special. Both of them married people that they love very much and that their spouses really love them. And I wish them all the best. But needless to say, it's been a whirlwind of a month. There's been a lot going on. So anyway, I'm back home, and hopefully things are going to be a little more, like normal for a little while. Anyway, we're going to talk about self-esteem today. There's different ways of defining self-esteem. There's even different terms for it that I'm going to talk about a little bit, different ways that we talk about self-esteem. But I want to talk about, in general terms, what self-esteem is. What is it? Where does it come from? How do we get more of it? What gets in the way of it? Okay. So self-esteem is exactly what it sounds like. It's how we esteem ourselves. It's what we think about ourselves. It's how worthy we think we are. It's how good we think we are. It's how capable we think we are. Like all of those thoughts that we have about our abilities, our lovability, that's how we esteem ourselves, self-esteem. Now, most of us, look for how to esteem ourselves through others. We're mostly other esteemed. Totally made that word up, but it works for this, okay? We look to other people to inform us of who we are, what we should believe about ourselves, what we're capable of, and we're scanning all the time for people to tell us who we are. So I want you to take a minute and go back to your childhood. I want to know what you were taught as a child about how to act around other people, how to behave, what were good manners, what were not good manners, what emphasis was put on certain behaviors or certain performances. And like your performance, like what got all the praise, what got the cringing, what happened if you got it wrong, what happened if you said or did the impolite thing. And you can't see me, but I'm putting that in quotes because who says it's impolite, right? That's part of our programming. Were you made fun of? Were you teased? Were you carefully and lovingly taught or not? The ways that we were responded to as children set the tone for how we esteem ourselves, how worthy we think we are of praise, of attention, of goodness, of love, all of those things. Okay. So, something I see all the time in my clients is a lack of a reference point to who they are as individuals besides their roles or their jobs. So I get this. Like, I totally get this. Like, we think of ourselves as like, I'm a mom, I'm a whatever profession. We become so accustomed to those titles and those roles that we forget that at the core of all of that, we're actually an individual. Last night, I had the opportunity to talk on a Zoom call with a wonderful woman who's a successful professional. And she told me that she can't think of what she likes to do when she's home because it's been so long since she has checked in with herself on that front. It's like she doesn't remember. She doesn't know what to do when she has time to herself. This comes from esteeming things others want above our own wants, wanting to be good at our roles and jobs, but losing sight of who we are beyond those roles of wife, mother, whatever. Okay, all of those roles. So, as I was preparing this, I was reminded of a movie that's a throwback. Okay, maybe you've seen it, maybe not, but it's Runaway Bride with Julia Roberts and Richard Gere. And in Runaway Bride, Julia Roberts she gets engaged to 3 different people. And then at the altar, she runs away, hence the title, Runaway Bride. Anyway, in this movie, with each person that she's with, whatever kind of eggs that person likes, she says she likes. I'll take what he's having with each person. And they each like different kind of eggs, these men. And she says, I like that kind too. Like whatever he's having, that's what I love. And the character Richard Gere plays calls her out on it and basically says, you just do what they say because you don't have an opinion of your own. Anyway, in part of the movie, you see her with a whole like spread of different kinds of eggs in front of her, where she is tasting the eggs seemingly for the first time, like really noticing the textures and flavors and seeing, what do I like? And then she decides, this is what I like. I don't like this other kind of egg. This is what I like, right? And she was so focused on the people around her and pleasing them that she was not paying attention to what she actually likes, okay? It's just a silly movie, but I think we do this. We look for other people to tell us what's okay, what we should like, what we shouldn't like, and in an attempt to feel lovable and worthy and safe, right? Now, another term that I really, really like that goes along with self-esteem is self-concept. I really like thinking about that. When I think about myself, I check in, what is my self-concept? What am I believing that I'm capable of? When you think of yourself, what do you see in your appearance, in your personality? Here's a question. Do you think that the way that you perceive yourself matches reality? What do you think? So one concern that I hear is, what if I practice esteeming myself highly? Doesn't that make me selfish? Doesn't it make me arrogant? Doesn't that make me think that I'm better than other people? Absolutely not. And this is why, okay? When we esteem ourselves highly, we actually are much more able to love. We're in such a more abundant space that we're not threatened when other people around us have victories. We actually can celebrate more wholly with them. It's like this thought of being, I'm lovable and they are also lovable. I'm capable, they are capable. I'm valuable and worthy, as are they. Like, it doesn't have to take anything away from the other person. In fact, we are able to give more. Like, the more we develop our self-concept, our self-esteem, the more freely we give who we are. Like, that's where we get to let our gifts shine. That's where we get to express ourselves more fully as the amazing individuals that we are. Now, the other side of the coin to this is narcissism, okay? Now, narcissists need to be higher or better than others to be okay. They can't celebrate other people's wins without it meaning that they are losing. For narcissists, you can't both win. If there's a winner, there's a loser. So narcissism is loving yourself at the expense of another person. True self-esteem is a gift to everyone around you because you're more fully you. You have more to give. You know what your gifts are and you share them. You are more expressive. You give more freely to other people. You're not as afraid. The more we love ourselves, the more we can contribute. So how do we grow in self-esteem? As silly as it sounds, some of it is as simple as like doing what Julia Roberts did in Runaway Bride and really asking ourselves, what do I like? My coach, Brooke Castillo, puts it this way. She says, imagine that you are the only person on an island. There's no one else there. No one else is coming. If there was not another person on the island, what would you do? What would you like? What would you want on your body or not on your body? What would you dance? Would you sing? How would you express yourself if there was no one there? Think about that. I think it's kind of fun to think about. Another thing to think about is in building our awareness of what our self-esteem is and how other esteemed we are is this little exercise I'm going to give you, okay? I want you to get out a piece of paper and I want you to write down all the things that you want other people to think about you. I want you to really explore this. I want you to explore what you want them to think about you. Like, do you want them to think that you're accomplished? What do you want them to think about your personality? And I want you to think about all the people in your life. Like, what do you want your mom and dad to think about you? Your children, your extended family, your boss, your friends, the school moms and dads, your coworkers, your church leaders, your employees. You know, it's been interesting. Even making that list makes me a little uncomfortable for myself because it's showing me, oh, I have a little bit of work to do. So I'm going to be making this list right along with you. What am I thinking that I want people to think about me? It can be very eye-opening, right? The next question is why? Like, why do I want them to think that of me? Like, what would be different for us if they did? And what are we thinking that we could then think about ourselves? Like, for example, let's say that you have this thought that when I get this promotion, then I will feel worthy. Then I will feel smart enough. Then I will feel whatever, right? If somebody else told you those things, let's say it is somebody that you esteem highly, maybe you esteem them higher than yourself. And if they told you, oh, you're so smart, you're so accomplished, do you think you'd believe them? Or do you think you'd be like, they just don't know. They don't know these different things about me, or they wouldn't think that. They wouldn't believe that. Like, for example, let's say that someone tells you that physically you look great. And what do? So much of the time, we self-reject. It's not because we're rejecting them. It's because we have a different thought about what we look like or what we should look like. And so we boot it out and can't even receive it. Okay, so step one is you went through and you wrote down what you want all these people to think about you, okay? And asking, why do you want them to think those things? Okay, now step two is you're going to imagine that you are all of those things, okay? You are. Like, you have the money, you got the job, you got the body, you got the relationships, all the things. What does it mean to have a marriage that looks a certain way, a home, a job, the right husband, the right number of children, the accomplishments? What does it mean? Does it mean that you're more worthy now? Does that feed it? What do you think about you now? Do you believe that you're accomplished and smart now that those things are done? Now, why this exercise is powerful is because it's showing you what you think you need to achieve to prove your own worthiness to yourself. I wonder what's coming up for you when you do this. It can be really eye-opening. Now, step three sounds difficult, okay? But I know you can do this. It's the work that I work on right along with you. It looks like this. You get to practice believing those things now. You get to practice believing that you already are 100% lovable and worthy and good. You get to already think those things. You get to already believe that you're capable, that you are fun, whatever it is, that you're smart. I've said this before, but the thing with worthiness is this: you already have it. Nothing you ever do will ever make you more worthy or more lovable. Now, in the realm of infidelity and betrayal within marriages, oftentimes our self-esteem can take quite a hit because we take it personally. It's hard not to sometimes. It's hard not to think, if I only were this and this, or more lovable, more beautiful, more sexy, more blah, 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 all the things. Then you wouldn't have done these things, and I would have this family that I thought I had. I'd be more worthy, and I must just not be as worthy. I must not be as good. And this is so faulty. It's so faulty and it's so painful, right? And it's just not true. It's just not true. And so one of the big steps in healing from infidelity is rebuilding your self-esteem really intentionally, practicing new thoughts, practicing new beliefs. It's believing that you are good, that you are lovable. When we really believe those things, we show up differently. We are more assertive. We ask more of others. We aren't afraid to make requests. We hold to our standards and values more truthfully because we believe that we're worthy of it. Here are a couple thoughts to try on, okay? I like to think of it like going into a dressing room where you bring in a pile of clothes. You're like, I don't know about this, but I'm going to try it. You try it on and it might feel amazing. And you're like, whoa, I had no idea that this would feel this good. There might be another that might look like something you like, and then you try it and you don't like it at all. That's how it is with thoughts. You got to try them on. You got to try them on and like think it and go, can I believe this thought? Is there a part of me that can believe this? How you know is if you can feel it. Can you feel anything in your body? If you can feel it, you can nurture it and you can make it true. Okay. Here are some fun thoughts to think. Just for fun, try them on. I am inherently lovable. My worth is fixed. I achieve the things I want because I want to and not for the approval of others. I go after my goals because I love being a person who grows, not because I need the approval of others. Now, to wrap it up, I want to leave you with this. So again, I learned this. I heard it first from Brooke Castillo, but it's so good. I want to share it with you here. She heard of a triathlon athlete who had competed and done very well in many triathlons. And one time somebody asked him what his secret to success was. And his answer is everything. He said, I talk to myself more than I listen. What? I love that so much. Let me tell you what I mean by that, what he meant by that. So if you think of like our higher brain, that prefrontal lobe, that's the adult in the room, okay? Our lower brain is the toddler in the room. The toddler is yakking at us all day long, telling us all kinds of things, a lot of not helpful things, a lot of garbage things, in fact. The prefrontal cortex is the adult in the room that quiets down the toddler. And we can listen to that toddler who's just like running his mouth, right? Or we can talk to ourselves from that higher brain. I talk to myself more than I listen. So instead of like tuning into that chatter of the toddler, we are talking to ourselves and telling ourselves what we want to believe on purpose. What do you want to believe? What do you want to believe? What feels useful to you? Now, all of these things will help you to develop a more solid sense of who you are. When you start to feel more solid within yourself, things get interesting. We show up different. We change our lives. We ask for the raise. We say no to things. We say yes to things. We put our foot down. It comes from inside, my friends. It comes from how you esteem yourself. It comes from how you think you rank in accordance to other humans. If you rank yourself at a low number, I challenge you to do some work around this, to ask yourself, what is it that you want to think about yourself and why can you not practice that now? I have times sometimes where I'll be playing with a new thought and I'll be like, you know what? I'm just going to commit to this thought for 24 hours. For the next 24 hours, I'm just going to think that I am whatever it is. Okay. And I practice being her. I practice being the version of me that's let's say really, oh gosh, really, let's say really organized. Really organized Andrea, she gets stuff done. She cleans up the clutter. She gets stuff taken out of her house. She cleans out her car. She gets her kids to clean up their stuff. She is on it. That Andrea who's just really organized. Now we tend to think about people, either you are or you aren't. And I promise you, that's just a lie. There is no trait, no belief about yourself that you can't develop. Nothing. There's nothing. So when you did those exercises at the beginning of this, where you're writing down all the things that you want people to think about you, you get to think those about yourself today, right now, anytime you want. What if you just decided to? Wouldn't that be a fun game to see what happened when you tried those thoughts on and just believed them anyway first, without waiting for the external world to give them to you? What if you gave them to yourself first? How interesting would that be? What do you think would change for you if you just believed that you were worthy, if you believed that you were amazing and lovable and just an amazing human? What would change for you? How would you show up? Go do it, my friends. It's your work to develop your self-concept. I can't think of a more important thing to do. When we develop that self-concept, we let people see us and we become unapologetically us. Is there anything better? I don't think there is. All right, that's what I've got for you this week, my friends. I will be back next week, hopefully without the stuffy nose. And I hope that you're doing well. And again, if you've sent me an email and I didn't respond, try again, okay? I love hearing from you. All right, all my love. Till next time, bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Heal from Infidelity podcast. If you would like to be kept in the know about upcoming free classes, new podcast episodes, and other ways of working with me, go subscribe to my weekly email. You can subscribe at AndreaGiles.com/lies-about-infidelity/. Again, it's AndreaGiles.com/lies-about-infidelity/. I will see you next time.